Hey, feel free to stop me at any point in time. Um, this can be a general zoning discussion, whatever you'd like, but I wanted to discuss the new official plan overhaul. So Ottawa is overhauling their zoning bylaw um, in its entirety, and Uh, I don't think everybody's aware just yet, so I'd like us to be aware and to understand what it means and try to get ahead of it. Tia, good morning. I knew I should wait for the introduction. So I'll just recap quickly for Tia, but we're going over Ottawa's zoning amendment. It's a lot more than an amendment, to be honest. It's an overhaul of the entire zoning system as we know it in Ottawa. And I'm gonna briefly go over it. It's ongoing. This isn't a completed version of their system change yet. Um, they've been at least a year already going through zoning review and changes to what and we're not talking a few zones. Every single zone in the city of Ottawa is being reviewed and being altered in some way, shape, or form. Whether they're altering the fabric of the zone itself and what the parameters are, or just the name of the zone. One way or another, they are altering each zone, and many of the zones do have material changes that are happening, whether it's height restrictions or density. The overall purpose of the zoning review is to, as always, the planning department and the zoning departments in cities are trying to plan ahead, forecast the future, and create bylaws that will dictate how the city expands and grows. Because whether anybody likes it or not, the city is growing. Obviously, we encourage growth, but they're trying to best encapsulate every zone and um, plan for growth and development. So this zoning review is largely um, intended to increase density and increase um, the practicality of um, infill development, in amongst our current infrastructure. So that means, you know, things like reduced parking requirements, increased height allowability, increased units. We'll get in a little bit more detail, but I just wanted to go over just the zone itself, the purpose of Ottawa revamping their zoning system, encourage questions, conversations, and then give you guys some tools to see these changes. I've been trying to track them as they go. There's been quite a few different reviews of the comprehensive zoning um, infrastructure of the bylaw, and they anticipate implementing this new zoning system in 2026. So it's currently still under review. I'm going to show you guys all where you can find it and see the changes. It's important that we, as realtors, know where to obviously find the zoning information for every property that we're either listing or buying to keep our clients informed. But we can also, I want to show you where to find the new and anticipated bylaw, because there's lots of opportunity in, there might be a a bylaw that a zone that's changing drastically and creating quite a bit of opportunity for somebody to develop more units. And being able to identify these and um, guide our clients brings value and keeps us informed and at the top as professionals giving value and advice to our clients. So our current official plan was adopted in 2022, and this current zoning analysis is being changed to reflect the plan that was put in place. So it's basically they're catching up some outdated zoning, trying to stay current and better enable housing intensification and more flexible mixed uses. We'll end up seeing that we're not going to be able to go through every zone, but you'll see a lot of the zones if you go and look them up after that. There's more mixed use intended with more ability to put commercial ground floor on arterial roads, and they're trying to encourage the 15-minute community where people can walk and get amenities and workplaces and things like that. So a few things, you know what, before I go through some of the particulars, I'm going to share my screen and show you where we can find some of these things. All right, can everybody see my screen? Yep. See a head nod or two. All right, so number one, as always, Geo Ottawa is our Bible here to all things City of Ottawa, and there's a link to the actual new. This is the easiest place to find it. It is Geo Ottawa, and as always in our layers lists, up top, we can open the different layers. Right here under zoning resources, I've always got zoning on, property parcels, planning, or as many of you know, are the big ones. But zoning resources, if we look under zoning resources, the new draft bylaw is here. And there's a draft 1 and draft 2. Draft 2 is the most updated one. So I've got it checked off, but as you know, the box of the actual zoning resource has to be checked as well. Like these are all the subheadings, but we've got to turn on the parent box, and this now shows the new zoning bylaw draft that they have. So just like the other interactive zoning, you can click on a property and go into, I'll just go somewhere downtown perhaps. You can also go back to the legend. As always, when you've got something turned on, you can go to your legend and you can see what has been turned on. If you look under the zoning resources, every one of these colors is identified. So you'll see the new naming of the zones, N1, N2. These are now neighborhood zones. Instead of R1, R2, R3, R4, we're going to see N1, N2, N3, N4, and we've also got 5s and 6s. These neighborhood zones are classified for density and and mixed use, and we can, as of right now already, we can go in and click on any of these properties. I'll click on one that I don't really know about just for fun and see. H is a hub zone. MC is a hub zone. And then we can click on the link to the bylaw text and go right to what the use is. It's a MC apparently is a mixed use central zone. And if we go back and toggle off these zoning resources, we're left with the current bylaw. Well, that one still is MC right now. Let's try another one. But basically, go back and forth on any properties that you see. Oh, it's just showing the. Okay. That zone must not have been changing, MC. So right now I've got R4UB as a zone. If I toggle over, okay, they don't yet have it linked to the new zones. When you click on the zone, it's still, regardless of the zoning overlay, it just links you to the current R4UB zone. But what we can do is, knowing that I could probably turn the old zoning off. Yeah, it doesn't link right. Sorry, I'm doing some of these things real time, but I hope it's helpful. I turned the old zoning off and it overlays what the new zoning is, but it won't link us right to what N4B means. So here's what we'll have to do is go directly to the fabric of the zoning bylaw. And I can put these links in the chat, but basically, and you can Google on the City of Ottawa site, the new bylaw documents. We've got engageottawa.ca zoning widgets. I'll put these links up right now while we're doing it. But we've got the actual link to the bylaw, and there's also interactive maps within these two links. Are the City of Ottawa links directly to this new zoning and what it means. And there's quite a bit more information here. This is what the interactive map looks like within the actual website itself. And it still looks like it links to the current zone. Oh, okay, look at this. Within the fabric of the city's pages, when you click on the zone, it shows you the current zone, R4UD 480, and it shows you the new zone, N4B. And here is where it will link. It'll go back to the actual neighborhood zone, and then you can click on which zone it is, N4B. Look up the section and see what N4 shows maximum heights and all the information that you might want to find in there. So it's still a bit of a treasure hunt to find the information, but it is out there, what they're doing with each zone and its intention. So if you have a property that you're working on, for yourself or for some clients, it's worth it's worth looking up what the actual zone might be and might be becoming, because there's opportunities coming, and for increased density and things like reduced parking, increased height, increased number of units. At minimum, every property in the city is going to have the ability to have 3 units on it, and most of the zones in the core will allow for much more than that. So a property right now that you might fit a fourplex on, with the current zone, with this new zone, you may even be able to double it. There's reduced parking. In some cases, they're removing parking requirements altogether for new development applications. So this is big news to property owners. It's and especially for developers, we're going to see a lot of opportunity coming, because of this zoning change. So
Hey, Chris.
yes, thank you for stopping.
I just sent you a link. I just saw this yesterday in a advertisement, but it's a good link to use. I just in the chat, sorry.
In the chat?
Yeah. It's a good one to use. Just if you have an address, you just type it in and it tells you exactly. It's a quick little.
There's the Zoom chat here.
Just
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that I can see it.
So I put it there for everybody. If you can put any address, if you click that link, you just put your address in you're looking at, and it tells you the current, and you don't have to go to the map. You just enter any address.
Nice, thank you.
There's a really good page too. I'll show you that Ottawa General Contractors put out there explaining everything. Again, I just saw it yesterday. And if you click that link there, they got a whole explanation of how everything's changing. Just something would be nice for us to have, because they're basically saying, hey, if you're interested, put your address and we'll call you. But the next link was just an ad from Ottawa General Contractors because they want to do.
I think this is the exact same link that I just clicked on.
Yeah, you might just have to scroll down, or
this is the here. I'll share my screen here again.
Yeah, you can put your address in. Maybe
it's the exact same link. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I put the address there. That's where you were.
Yeah, it's the exact same. It's the exact same link.
So I just put my address in for fun, and it tells you exactly. So any address, you just put right there.
Yep. Yeah, it's the exact same. It's the exact same link. Perfect. Actually, while I've got that, I guess I can't look at the chat wall.
But if you look at the next link I sent you, it's a good little overview for something. It'd be nice if we had something like that for customers, because it's a Coles Note version of everything being changed. And reach out to us if you're interested in seeing what your house can be done.
I like it. Yeah, it's a great idea. We should brand something Metro City like this. I have to toggle on and off sharing my screen to when I'm sharing my screen, does anybody know how to?
You should be able, if you just hover over it, you should still see the chat box come up. It's just smaller, right? It's up top. It's on the top, and usually.
I got it. Thanks.
But like, if you scroll down here, they basically outline all the changes in a Coles Note version. They're basically just trying to get customers to find out what they can do work wise. But they had a nice commercial as well, a video they did.
Yeah, I like it.
Not that I want to steal other people's stuff, but
borrow,
improve. But I mean, we could sort of use it as a, hey, if you're interested, click this and we'll reach out to you, and just they're interested in maybe doing something, right?
Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah, well, I've got these here. I'll throw these links that I had. I think one is exactly what.
Yeah, no, I think it was. I just went to the address part.
Yeah. This is the engagement, and this is the link to the bylaw. There's on that exact page, there's plenty of resources that, that, I mean, the zoning bylaw itself is obviously, big, but you can go right into different sections of it. Yeah, yeah, that's where the map came from. But some of the notes I've been taking some of the notes. It's obviously there's a lot of changes to follow, but the overall tone is more flexibility, additional units. Like R1, R2 is adjusting the lot coverage, the height, and parking. Um, and I believe there's going to be minimum 3 units in every zone. So obviously, I think Geo Auto is, a great function to be able to toggle on and off and identify where they are, but that zoning, the actual zoning map itself it has better links directly to what it's going to be. This is my property coming up on Richardson Side Road. It was RG, and it's changing now to RIL1. RIL. It'll take some time to figure out where all these places are, but anyway, I won't bore you with that particular property, but great resource. This is where to do it. Okay. Anybody have any zoning related topics they want to cover? I just wanted to, go through obviously, we don't have a comprehensive of every zone just yet. I think we should. Just like Kevin was talking about, we'll create a better outline for, a cheat sheet for people, because we obviously aren't, even off the top of your head right now, we all don't know every single zone and the height restrictions and but we go and refer to Geo Ottawa to understand what can be done and what can't be done. But I think a cheat sheet, if you will, to generally inform buyers is a good idea. But you guys having information about where to find this is key. So save those links that we threw in the chat, and I think that's a good place to start. Anybody? So I don't have anything planned for the back half of this. So is there anyone that has a property that we want to look up and see?
I have a question, Chris. Obviously, 107 Stanley. We've talked about it extensively.
Yeah.
So the guys that I have that want to buy it, they're buying it now, but they're planning on tearing it down and rebuilding it only in a few years.
Yeah.
So obviously, like if the zoning change is supposed to increase density. It shouldn't hurt them.
Yes, it will only help if they're looking to redevelop, um, for, higher density. This entire change is a pro-development change. It's meant to make it easier to increase density and increase the size of buildings on a property, reduce the amount of parking requirements. Um, the city of Ottawa is growing to the tune of in I don't know what the latest projections are, but within um, within the 10-year span, we're slated by 2046, so in 20 years, we're estimated to hit 1.5 million people. So they have to figure out how to put, a few 100,000 more people within the city, and that's, largely within the urban boundary that's already existing. So they're encouraging, people to intensify the fabric of the city and the infill properties, just like you're talking to you, that you've got a property right now that's one unit, and they'll be able to knock it down and put 3 or 4 units on that same property, if not more. So it'll absolutely make their property more valuable from a redevelopment standpoint. It's designed exactly to target those clients, and make it easier for them. And in the 2-year timeline that they intend to build is perfect, because if they were to apply for a building permit right now, they'd probably get a single family unit with a secondary dwelling unit in the basement. But with this new zoning, they're going to be likely allowed minimum 3 or 4 self-contained units, not even secondary dwelling units, like fully self-contained dwelling units, which it bumps them all up into the category of multifamily, where now we've got 3 units or more. We're using the income approach to value, like we've discussed many times in the past, and evaluating these properties as more of an income generator. And we all know that's got a lot more capability from an investment standpoint. So it's designed to help make development easier, and the properties ultimately more useful, and in turn more valuable. So yeah, I think it targets your clients specifically. And when they, in a couple of years, if they thought they were going to build 2 units, they'll should very easily be able to build 3 or 4 units under that new zone. Want to look it up?
Sure.
I've got some time. Let's do it real time and learn together.
It's N4B now.
The current one?
I looked it up. It was R4. Now it's N4B.
What's the address?
107.
Yeah,
Stanley.
107 Stanley.
It's in a floodplain.
I know.
Jeez, eh?
That is true, actually. I remember going over that.
It's no longer got a heritage overlay. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it's hardly even in the floodplain.
Yeah. Nothing a little bit of dirt can't fix. Chris can fix that.
I don't know. Where do you see, are you looking at my screen?
Yeah. It just changed. The view changed for a second. I don't know what you clicked, but that floodplain was it's over top of it. I don't know. Maybe zoom in, because it was there for a second. I see it on mine. Now scroll down. Just that bottom corner. Yeah. See?
Well, if you look, something's up with this line. Oh, you know what?
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, it's right in there.
Yeah, that makes things a little bit more interesting. Let's ignore the floodplain conversation for the time being. I feel like that's a different use. Let's keep this on topic for
I feel like
the
they
zone.
extended it because it wasn't like we've looked at it before and it was only through like half of the property.
Well, let's
Anyways,
go to Geo Ottawa. And 7.
But
11.
but I don't think it's part of the floodplain because if you toggle off the existing one, like if you go up top and you can toggle off the existing zoning to
Yeah.
just the final, then the floodplain's gone, right?
Well,
That's what
you
I'm trying
can't
to figure
toggle
out.
off the zoning because that is where the floodplain is
No, sorry,
located.
not there. I'm talking about the other page you're on. Sorry. Where we were just looking where it showed floodplain. If you go back to the other web page
Yeah.
and no, yeah, that one scroll up. Let's scroll up.
Yeah.
Keep going. Now to turn that off, display existing.
Well, but the existing zoning is what has the floodplain
No, I
overlay
know,
on
but
it.
now we want to go to final without it. That's what I was saying. Like, so then it
Yeah,
doesn't.
but this final is just for zoning. They're not going to change flood stuff. All of the floodplain mapping is going to be the conservation authority.
Oh, okay.
It's a different layer. The floodplain doesn't affect the zone. They're not changing any of the floodplain mapping. That's a whole entire other issue with the conservation authorities. So you can turn that off, but it's not going to be removing the floodplain. The floodplain changes are driven by the conservation authorities in conjunction with the city. So I would suspect that it is going to remain this. So this is the current status of the property, and it's entirely within the floodplain. So I guess might as well speak to that. We're here to learn. So I'll give my opinion of it. Um, they because there's a current structure within the floodplain now. I suspect, obviously the current building can remain, and I would suspect that they would be able to keep the same footprint of the house if they were gonna, knock the building down and build something new. I suspect, perhaps they might get objection with the specific, even though there might be increased density allowable, or increased footprint of the building allowable under the zone, they might get some pushback from the conservation authority, and they might have to stay within the same footprint. They should still be able to achieve more units within the property, but they might just not be able to make it any larger. But it shouldn't.
yeah, because I think that they increased the height from, it used to be 11 meters and now it's 14.5. So at least there's that.
Yep. I've got a lot of pages. So what do we do here? We'll go to N4B, N4. Maximum height 14.5 meters. And here's the subzone. Minimum lot widths. Minimum rear yard setback. So that might be affected because of the floodplain itself, like conservation.
Yeah, because right now it's closer to like 50%. Like I don't know what the current bylaw is, but what they have there is closer to like probably 50.
Yeah. Well, the current bylaw, R4UD. Minimum rear yard setbacks is third from the right. It says varies. Probably another one back here. UD varies. Not very clear. Have to dig a little bit deeper to get that one, but what's the height? The original height was
11, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember it being 11.
I think you're right. Did you see that somewhere in here?
I think
It
it's
was on
the
the other
same
chart.
table, yeah. Building height.
1, 2, 3, 4. I wish they would lock this top so when you scroll down it would.
Just memorize them all. Come on.
You're talking about the city of Ottawa here.
I know. D 10.
Okay.
10 for a semi, 11 for detached, 10 for semis and duplexes, and 11. So they're definitely increasing it
Okay.
by 3.5 meters. Well, for a low-rise apartment.
Unless they can fit 9 apartments on a tiny little spot. They're
Yeah,
really small apartments.
you'd
on
be
the same
surprised
footprint.
what people. You'd be surprised what people are gonna be able to fit on here now. We're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see a lot more.
Well, it looks like as long as you can, as long as you meet the setbacks, you can have 4 units minimum, right? So
Correct.
I guess you can build them as small as you want. I mean, 2
Yeah,
apartments per
they
floor.
just end up small units. So I think, in my notes, I even have, just like Kevin said, I think that we should create some presentations or some, propaganda to put out, and encourage discussions with our clients to make sure that they know this is happening. For our average single family buyer, they're just looking for a home. It's not, largely going to affect them. They might be able to put additions and cover more of their lot. But this becomes really valuable for people's, you know, income properties or investment properties. And I think putting out some, some tools for people to get thinking about it. We branded Metro City with your name on it is great. So, you know, I think that we should absolutely, you know, create what we can, and happy to help do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on my community association and I'm the, the right wing guy, but all our people are so against it because you got to remember every single street that is somewhat major is now commercial. So like I'm literally, a couple doors down, they happen to be on Walkley, so they are commercial now. If you look at the zoning, you scroll over, it's all commercial, so you can do a hell of a lot more. Not good for them, but well, if they want to sell, it's good, but not when their neighbor sells.
Yeah, some people will be negatively affected if they've got a quiet, street, and they don't want change. That's not every street is going to change, and certainly not immediately anyways. But there's it's funny, every development that I've created, there's always people that are against it, and then the building gets completed, fits into the landscape, and they end up coming back and commenting that, hey, you know what, that looks pretty good here and suits, and it's not, they'll all enjoy walking to that corner store that wasn't available before, or taking advantage of some of the new commerce that they can walk to. So I get it though, where I wouldn't want, if I bought a place and it was on a quiet little street and all of a sudden the street, tripled in population, I might, not enjoy that as well for my own personal enjoyment, but I'll, sell that, make some money and move a little bit further out. But anyway, all we can do is, be the experts, be informative, and create, create the notion that, we're here to help and we're the ones with the information. Put that out there and encourage conversations. So, I think we should, you know, uh, create some documents that share some value, individually brand them with your names on them. You share them individually, and then we'll put stuff out on the Metro City pages and create create activity. Yes. Anyway, so we can keep it short today if you want. Normally, I'm just one long run-on sentence, but this is a work in progress. So I'm happy to field more questions or wrap it up here. More to come. I think we'll cover this topic, more in the future. And this is everybody here, I believe, is just Metro City. I thought I saw Joelle here at one point. I don't know.
She logged off already.
Yeah, but so we can keep this amongst ourselves. I'm happy to get together and work on creating some of that, propaganda, if you will, or some ads to throw out to people. So maybe we'll do that in commercial training in the coming weeks and just get some work done on that and keep being informed, because it's important for us to get ahead of it. And these questions are going to come up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. I mean, I know the zoning's not as black and white, but it'd be nice to have the general, like sort of like they did, like zone this, can now do between this and this, so we can all know with a cheat sheet that, hey, it's 4 to 20. Oh, it's commercial. So what does that mean? Yes, I know there's 48 subsections we got to go through, but on the high
Yeah.
level, at least, like, hey, at bare minimum, you can build this.
Agreed. Yeah. What that one that you shared is which one was it? The Ottawa contractors?
Yeah.
That I'll save that. We can use that as a fabric and just make it better. We'll double check their homework.
They did a great little ad. Like, they have a video online just saying, hey, your homes are all now worth more. Your value's increased, and and talking about selling and upgrades. So they spend some time. Like, I don't know them. I've heard of them, but I'm not sure who they are. But
Yeah. Good stuff. All
Awesome.
right. Well,
Thanks, Chris.
we'll keep it short and sweet, so to speak. Thanks for joining.